We're here today at Ontario Medical Group Management Association Conference. It's a great conference of all the family health teams across Ontario coming together at Niagara Falls. And here we're hearing a lot of topics that are near dear to our heart when we talk about lean and continuous process improvements. And today I have a special guest, Sarah, Greatness Magnified. Okay, and today Sarah was talking this morning about recognition at work and what it means. And I would love to ask Sarah a couple of questions. What does recognition mean, and what does it mean for somebody in a lean organization or building a lean culture?
Yeah. Well, of course, so much of what the work that you do, I'm sure, is around helping leaders to be really visible, very much involved at where the value is created. And that's also the perfect place where people are recognized, right? If you're a leader and you're seeing an excellence in your team, you're seeing the little extraordinary moments that we might miss in our ordinary work lives because we're busy, we're frazzled, we feel we have so much to do. Well, the leaders here in this conference, they've just done an incredible job of really finding ways in which they can get out of their office and they can be really visible, they can be noticing these things. But I mean, I don't have to tell you, the other key component is that we have to be really motivated to, in fact, honor and acknowledge what's happening well at the front line, because they're the ones who are where the value is created. And so if we notice and we acknowledge their voice and it matters, as opposed to we as the leaders are the primary source, that's pretty fundamental in any lean journey, and it's also fundamental in an effective team.
That's a great point, Sarah, because when we come into organizations, a lot of times we see a lot of meetings, leadership meetings, management meetings, where they make lots of talk and decisions on different organizational initiatives, but we never see at the tables the frontline staff or their input in terms of where they see, because they see things from where they are, right? Which might be different from what the leaders are seeing or what the middle management are seeing. So I think what you're saying is crucial, right? Recognition that those frontline people are at the front doing the work, and they can help to create those changes that leaders are trying to create. Now, I wanted to ask you one question around how do you think, what do you think for a leader that is trying to drive a culture of innovation? What would they, trying to create a momentum or engaging your staff, what do you think some of the things they can do to motivate their staff to, really bring out the ideas because they know best, right?
Yeah. We'll start with that. Asking that question, I know that you have some great ideas. What would you recommend? It's a form of recognition, of course, valuing incredible expertise and the fact that folks do know what is happening around here. But of course, that's where you get idea generation. And when people don't show up just to do the job, that presenteeism concept that we in HR know is kind of the death of innovation and continuous improvement, when people feel engaged and committed, it's almost like I was describing with a client the other day. They were confused, like, what is it that we've managed to do and shift in our culture? I said, I think what you've done is you've helped the employees to be owners. So when you have an ownership mentality that this is my organization, whether you own it, whether you're the leader, whether your name's on the door, but you actually feel like you have a vested interest in the success of the people receiving care here, in the case of healthcare, or in the product that you serve or create if you're in manufacturing and so forth, that's a different mentality. And you actually are going to come up with more creative, inventive ideas, as well as, of course, be looking around and paying attention to what can be improved as well.
It's a great point, because the accountability part is so crucial. And a lot of times we see like performance evaluation systems, or you have set the goals at the beginning of the year and then you evaluate them mid-year or end year, but we still don't see the performance improvement, the productivity, the engagement of staff is still not there, right? And this whole mentality about I'm owning it, I'm accountable and it's mine, and I want to do the best job I can, is something that could drive any lean initiative to where it wants to be. Because a lot of times we do see a lot of lean initiatives, they don't necessarily, they fail or they're not as successful. And people lose the faith in the system, in the process, even though we do know that all the successful organizations that have implemented lean, properly, it's something that works for them on an ongoing basis. So we try to always explain when we come to the organizations that the leaders and the management are part of it. You are the sort of the foundation to build this culture of innovation, of continuous improvement, because lean is about as a management, we're here to support you. What we say sometimes even servant leadership, right?
Yep.
And so this is where I want to get the point across to those organizations that may have tried lean and think that it's not something that's working for them. It's not just about the set of tools. It's a whole culture and a whole mentality about how you see things as the organization. And we're all part of it to make it successful. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to some more, times where we can learn from each other.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.